boy. I feel like it knocked out for a second. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's the stuff. You guys still hear me? Okay? Is everything still going okay with the audio? I feel like I lost connection for a second there. Usually happens when I have too many windows open. Okay, thank you. All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to close Discord for right now. I'm on the computer that cannot handle both. So we definitely can't do both. Um, but yeah, let me put the lo-fi girl down and go back to the InkBlot page. Okay. Alrighty. I think we're okay to kind of get started here. Um, so first things first, definitely. Everyone, thank you so much for coming out. Those that are viewing the town hall. Let me actually press record before anything. I don't remember if I recorded the last town hall, but that was a big oopsie. Okay. Thank you so much, Queen, for following. But yeah, so we are doing our community town hall. For those that don't know, my name is Jay. I go by Jacob as well, Jacob Brown. I'm InkBlot Founder. Pronouns are he, they. And yeah, so this is our community town hall. If you don't already know, you can see my cat in the background. You'll probably see a lot of my cats. But yeah, the on top of the cats, we are doing this town hall just to kind of, not kind of, but we always have been doing these for well, years now, to provide transparency for our users, because we are community funded. So those funds need to be monitored, and I am the founder, but also CEO, project manager, but also the advocate and keeper of those community funds. So we do this for transparency. We do this for letting folks know, like, what are we up to? What are we doing? How are things doing? Um, and so on and so forth. So, for those of you that have been with us for a long time, thank you so much for supporting us in any way that you can. And for those that are just joining us, thank you so much for checking us out. If you don't already know, inkplot.art is where you can go check us out. But instead of me plugging, I will continue uh, on with our agenda just to kind of make this short and sweet for everyone. Um, Usually we start with development, but we are going to go over in the order in which that we did our newsletter back in November. So for those of you that don't remember or probably weren't privy to it, we did send out a November newsletter that had some very interesting news about operations, funding, and so on and so forth. With that in mind, it wasn't the best message, but the response that we got was very supportive, and I appreciate everyone that did respond to that in any way that they could. Whether that was reposting, shouting us out, giving, asking others to, check us out or to donate, or those that did, whatever you could have done. Thank you so much. So yeah, so we talked about team size and user base. Currently, Inkblot sits at 35,000. Looking at any past recordings, any other numbers that we have about this user base, 35,000 is a lot. It is just to kind of put into sense. Inkblot was sitting at 14, no, 20,000 a year ago. So we've grown it by 15,000 users. Obviously, it's always could be better, but for what we do and for why we're doing it, this is amazing. Like, we've averaged at least 1,000 new users a month with 15,000 growth in a year span. So these projections are really good. Most companies do not last past 3 years. We are coming up on our fourth year. So the fact that we're hanging on strong, especially in these times, 35,000 users, and we're approaching 36,000. It is really really good. Um, Now, the issue that was brought up in November was that our team size is very small. So we don't have a lot of funds to provide for payroll. So we do have a majority of volunteers. 90% of our team is made up of volunteers. Those teams are most are consist of moderation, community events, fundraising team, support team, and development team. So these are the teams that make up when I say team, right? And so with that, a lot of our volunteers are part of the moderation, the community events, and the fundraiser team. They are across all the different teams. So it's not just one team that has the volunteers. They have their hand in everything. A lot of the not a lot, but most of the payroll. So when we do have paid staff opportunities, that is mostly it for leadership opportunities or for the support team, which was the original team that had the payroll given. So at one point, all the duties of all those teams were on just the support team. So the support team did everything. So that has been grandfathered in. The payroll has been grandfathered in over time, and that is why the support team is outside of leadership the only team that is consistently paid on payroll. That is the breakdown of our team right now. We currently sitting at about 22. We are expecting more because again in our November post we did mention that hey, we need more folks on board. We need more hands. This would help us out a lot with certain stressors that we might have. That way we don't stretch our team too thin. Um, and we have definitely had a lot of applications. Those applications are still open if you're interested. Again, different teams, different responsibilities. Honestly, if you're interested, I would honestly encourage you to apply. You can go to jobs.inkblot.art and you'll find our volunteer opportunities there. Um, the volunteers, they only volunteer for 4 hours a month. Again, I'm plugging more inkblot stuff at you, but that's what I'm here for, really. So 4 hours a month, and that helps us tremendously. I mean, yes, it's every 30 days we only need 4 hours of your attention and time, and it helps us out tremendously. That is the bare minimum to stay on the team. And coming in January, we will be offering perks like our pro membership, early access to tools that the company makes. Discounts to our shop when it is open, and badges, collectibles basically, that you can get digitally on the website. So these are some of the things that you can have. This is within our means, right? This is within our means. This is what we're able to offer without overstretching ourselves. So, um, you know, uh, certainly some may just not really think that those are perks, but for us that's new. We haven't offered our volunteers perks before, but this is something that we definitely I talked to the team leads, and we definitely on our volunteer coordinator, and we definitely think that this is a good way to provide incentives, say our thanks, and continue moving forward with that. But yeah, so the team size, we're sitting at about 22. We're looking at, I was just talking to them this morning. We're looking at about more new volunteers to be onboarded within the next couple of weeks. We're still doing interviews. We're going to start training. So even if you are a volunteer, there is training. We do have an official process, and we go on from there. So I highly suggest if you want to get your hands on this project, if you want to support in other ways other than just donations, or if you can't donate but you have the time, definitely come join us. We have a lot of fun at Inkblot HQ. Definitely. I think you would enjoy it. We are all a team of creators, so you can imagine it's just like we all you you got the people that get you, and that's what we really wanted to foster is uh, a culture that is progressive, a culture that is like very open minded and fits with what we are as a community because your peers of the art community are the team members. So. Um, so yeah, so team size versus user base. So I said we have over 35, approaching 36,000 users, and then we only have a team of 22, and that doesn't include me. And that's very interesting, but that is where we're at. So we are still looking for people to help us out. Hopefully we can grow the team so that we can continue to provide the events, continue to do moderation, and also with our fundraisers that are more so art based, but our fundraisers that we do almost every 3 to 4 months. So with that in mind, that's really where those growing pains are coming from. If we don't have the hands, we can't do fundraisers. If we don't have the hands, we can't continue moderation. And I think as folks that have journeyed on the internet for years, you would know that lack of moderation or poor moderation has an effect on a art website or a creative website. So definitely, we need the hands not only because we're like, yeah, we just need more people because the numbers don't pan out. No, this is not about numbers anymore. This is about trying to keep up, trying to make sure that those moderation tickets are answered, make sure that we're providing events that are engaging the users. We're making sure that we have the hands to be able to conduct those art fundraisers so that we can fund the company. So that is definitely an issue, and it is one of our biggest because if we cannot grow the team, then we can't keep up with our user base, and that's a downside other than just lack of funding, right? So that's why I started with that. Otherwise, development definitely has slowed. It has slowed for a couple of months now. We went last year this time. We had two developers, and I want to say 1.5 developers, right? And that doesn't include me. And basically 1.5 because we had a part-time junior. And our developer Amir, he's amazing. He's been with us since our Kickstarter back in 2021. He is the best. We definitely have been working with him for a very long time. Um, and he loves this project. He adores it. He loves seeing everyone's art on the project. But his time has had to decrease because of the lack of funding. It always comes back to money. I'm sorry, you're gonna hear me say that a lot. This is what the town hall is for. I'm giving you full transparency. Um, but the lack of funding, so he was doing about an average of 45 hours a month, and that was keeping us with steady updates. We were doing about 2 to 3 good big size updates a month. And then we slowly declined with those hours because, well, development can still continue as it has been, but we need to push those funds. If we're losing that funding, we need to push the funds towards the servers, towards the storage, towards the payroll of the team that is keeping the company moving forward. Um, so development slows because it at some point, it becomes where okay, this product is stable enough that we could go longer without having the next update. But if we were to take that money away from from payroll or from the servers or the bandwidth, the website goes down. So that is why development has slowed because we've shifted those funds elsewhere, right? Um, and and I think that it's definitely something that I don't want to slow development. I absolutely love listening to the feedback. I want to execute every single idea that supports the mission of what we're trying to do. But it is the funding, and so um, again, I will probably end up posting the November post because I'm going to refer to it so much. Um, but it I did take on the burden of covering any deficit for the company. Now I've done this for years. I've done this for years. But the only difference is that now we're in a recession. So, working two jobs, I mean, working a night job, working my day job, and then also trying to do this definitely put me in a very bad spot. So one person should not be trying to support an entire community. Community is meant to be together, support each other, and especially the space that they're all existing in, that community exists in. So I definitely had to, break down some pride and be like, hey, I can't do this anymore. You know, I need help. We need help. We need help, and that was the real thing. Um, so definitely, again, I thank you for everyone that did answer that call for help back in November. And if you want to continue to still support us, or you're just learning about this, please, 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 definitely. Um, check us out. Check us out for sure. We got a lot of good people, and we're doing this for reasons, and it continues every week, continues to show us why we're doing this with platforms that are definitely encroaching on creative spaces and how the world is right now. So with that, funding. What is our deficit? Our deficit is for a 730, so $730 exactly. Um, Again, this town hall is completely transparent. I'm gonna go over numbers. I literally have a spreadsheet ready for you. We're gonna look at it. I hate to get all businessy on you guys, but that's what we do here at the town halls. So the deficit that I've been covering for the last several months is $730. So I do not have that, and it makes me work extra hours. So how does that line up with memberships? So we have $3 memberships. And those give you pro membership. They give you perks on the website, and so on and so forth. If you join our Ko-fi, you get access to early access tools and things like that. Oh, or if you just join through the website, we recently just launched our Pro Member Insider newsletter, which gives you pretty much um, the same perks that are on Ko-fi, except for the sticker club. So which we are sunsetting, obviously for reasons because that was definitely not expensive, but it was also put on me. I did take a lot of responsibilities. I am the founder. I am very passionate about this project and the people I work with. So I want to see it through. So yes, so that is the deficit. That's the number that we're currently at. It's actually not as terrible as I thought it would be, especially given the state of the world and where we're at with things. But could we cover that deficit with some of it from donations? We could, but our model is definitely based off of pro memberships. So those monthly subscriptions, even yearly subscriptions. We have quarterly subscriptions as well, a half a year subscription. That these all go towards helping towards that, towards keeping InkBlot running. So the bare minimum numbers, which is right here. So this is our breakdown. This is probably pretty familiar from our membership drive. Back in May, we had a membership drive, and that was where we did a lot of these things. Um, for wait, hold on. Is the music playing? Mods, is music playing? I think I realized that it's not on mute, or that it is. I have like the lo-fi, no music. Oh my god, I just been talking in the void like this. Okay, can you hear it now? Okay, hold on. The music obviously stopped for the 1 second. It's gonna switch tracks. So, I'll get back to you. Just get if you hear it, just let me know. But okay, so this is the spreadsheet. This breaks down every single software that we use here at the company. This breaks down all of the numbers for our for our payroll, and what our staff gets. So obviously you'll see zeros because there is a volunteers. I am considered volunteer too because I don't get paid. So that is what I do. And so these are the amount of hours that we put in with the current folks that we have. Um, these numbers are probably not, the numbers for volunteers are not correct. They are not updated, with the numbers that we currently at with the 22. Yeah, they're not because but I didn't count folks that are still onboarding. So yeah. So anyway, so these are the numbers for our softwares. Firebase, DigitalOcean. We tell you the tools that we use. We tell you, why we're using them. This is a nice breakdown to see that, which I'll post with our town hall recording, and with our next newsletter on the 22nd. So, um, I think that it's very important to have full transparency on this, because especially because we are community funded. For those that are just joining us, why are we community funded? Why do I keep saying that? What does that mean? It means that we don't have investors. Investors are a sore spot, pretty much a thorn, probably the bane of existence for all creative communities because they tend to take control and they will and this is not an opinion. This is actually just facts. They tend to take control, and they will, squeeze every dime and dollar out of a creative community, and they will, pretty much uh, make that community or make the reason why that site was made go down the drain, right? So we see that a lot with we saw that with DeviantArt. We saw that with ArtStation. Um, We've seen that with Tumblr even. My cat, I'm sorry. So yeah, so these are why we don't have investors. But also because also allow NSFW. And there has been times where NSFW on websites is pushed out. The moment that they squeeze out all the money that they can get from NSFW from hosting NSFW, they will typically push out NSFW creators or um, uh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it particularly, but SWs um, from those websites or those companies, or they'll see like, hey, like OnlyFans did that recently. They tried to, and then the community was like, oh no. Oh no, you don't. And then they were like, okay, 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 we're back, we're back, we're back. They literally tried to do that. They were like, "Yeah, we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop doing it." And then their community had such backlash. They were like, "Okay, never mind. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're good." So, um, yeah. So that's what happens. Yeah, they typically do that. I mean, it's happened plenty of other times. I can't really think of off the top of my mind. But OnlyFans is definitely a big one, and they actually walked it back. Twitch just recently did that. I know we're talking about it. Um, uh, they Mossa Tossin. They tried. They tried. It lasted like maybe a couple of hours before they walked it back. Yeah, they walked it back really quick. Yeah, it was not this year. I think it was the year before. It was at least within the last 2 years. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. It is laughable. In Jayla, yes, OnlyFans is definitely the one that comes to mind. Um, so yeah, so uh, sorry, my cat is literally okay. So yeah, so these companies they squeeze out every dollar from NSFW. NSFW is a huge, especially NSFW content is a huge, huge industry. Makes a lot of money. But there is this idea that we can't have it like at front and center. We need to just talk about these things on the side. It's okay if you make money from it. It's okay, if you're a investor and you make money from it, but you can't really talk about that broad daylight, right? And there's just been a lot of laws against it, especially in America, or should I say United States. But we're not here for that. We are here to keep NSFW on our platform. We aren't going to be like Twitch, who is like, whoopsie, my bad. We were going to allow it, and now we're not. We've always allowed it. We've allowed NSFW for since we started. I spent like I remember spending 4 hours in my kitchen, like just trying to write content guidelines, and it was the first time I ever wrote it. And ouch, that hurts. And I was like, oh my god, like I don't know what I'm doing. But it has been such a really nice journey with the moderation team. And our team they all come from all different types of backgrounds, and you can imagine that we have some artists that have dabbled or still do dabble in NSFW. So we aren't just just talking outside of our neck when we go over content guidelines. And our content guidelines is basically the bread and butter of our of our company. It tells you plain and simple what we allow, what we don't allow. And our moderation team, they are like the backbone of this company. And yeah. So I really do appreciate our mod team, um, and I appreciate those that are continuing to support us, because we definitely don't have as much spaces for NSFW as there was before. Um, so definitely, this is why we keep community funded. So anyway, so back to the spreadsheet because I hate looking at it, so I don't want to put it up this long. This is basically this is all of our expenses, and then this is what we make. So Google Ads, honestly, they haven't even allowed us to pull out any money because we don't make that much from it. We do have a partnership with Hiveworks, and they will be doing ads for us. Um, and that is a fact, but not right now, because of development stuff. Um, we really should put that as a priority, but because we haven't made much money with ads in the past, it's not like we're like hurting, because of ads specifically, Um, so yeah, it's not really at the top of my priority, but I would love to still work with Highworks on that advertisement. But they are a partner regardless of if they do the ads for us or not. So that is really nice. Definitely check out Hiveworks, a wonderful community for comics. Yes, the Outverse board of the form is in this spreadsheet. Yes, it is. It is. We haven't determined if we're moving to Discord yet, which I will get to in a little bit. So yeah, so this is how much we make for Ko-Fi memberships. And then this is how much we make with our native system. So if you go to inkblot.art and you pay for the premium subscription, which is $3 a month, um, pre- putting the label premium on with like then you see that it's only $3 sounds so weird. But yeah, so if you pay for the GoPro membership through the website defaultly, that's what I mean when I say GoPro native or the GoPro native system because it's from our website natively, right? We integrated that system. Um, so yeah, so Patreon is also it has actually decreased a lot. That is because we were open about how much they're taking. Um, I'm pretty sure they probably hate me. Since Patreon does look at people's socials, but yeah, they probably hate me. But yeah, no, they definitely they were taking 16%. This includes the payment processing fees. So they say 8% up front, and they say 8% when you're signing up. But then if you look in the spreadsheet in your dashboard, and you're like, oh, how much do they actually take out? You'll see that it's like 16%. Like sometimes it's 16. I've seen it up to 18, depending on the month, but it fluctuates between 16 and 18%. So yeah, so we actually pushed for our Ko-Fi members during our membership drive back in May. We actually pushed them for Patreon members to go to Ko-Fi or to go to the native system. So you'll see why it is so top heavy on these two because we pushed folks to go elsewhere, right? Which was very very nice, very very good. Um, so yeah, so that is why Ko-Fi is our number one. And then we also still pay Ko-Fi Gold to be able to offer. They would take like a percentage. Yeah, they would take a percentage of like shop orders and um, subscription fees. So we pay for the gold, which is 15 a month. So yeah. So anyway, this is our breakdown. This is how much we make, and you'll see that this total number right here is about how much we make. This is updated since the November one. It's updated by about $100. Yeah. So thank you so much for those that did subscribe, because that definitely helped us out in any way that you were able to subscribe with us. Um, that $100 a month is beautiful, and it has brought us down. Hold on, wait a minute. Where did this number come from? 640. Oh no, it makes sense. Yes, it does. I just said it. I was literally just saying $100 a month. Yes. Okay, so yeah, so this is where that number comes from. I was saying 730, and then I did extra edits to this. I remember. Okay, so it is 648. It came down, which is great because of those extra folks. If you look at the newsletter posts from November, I did say 700 and about $30. It's 648 now because folks supported us. It goes down when everyone is able to put hands on deck, or everybody's able to support in the smallest way that they can. We we get we get progress like this. So we are still in the negative here, but hey, we're doing okay. We're still surviving, I think, but we definitely still need the help, right? So I will post this. You'll be able to take a gander at all of this. This literally goes even deeper. Shout out to our they're on sabbatical, but shout out to Harper, one of our team members, who put this together, this spreadsheet, and it is very extensive. So you can even see like how if we broke it down to how much it would be if we did this, and how much it would be if we did this projection, and it literally projects in A, B, C, D number two. Yeah, so you're able to take a look at if we did things differently, right? Which yeah. So I will post that. You'll be able to see it. You'll be able to take a look at what we do, and how we fare. I will probably take a look at why this section is so weird. I'm not sure that these numbers are connected to that first sheet, but this is up to date at the very least. So I'll post this one and fix that second sheet so you can see the projections, because I think that that's very informative. Is if we did things differently, then you'll be able to see how we did things. So yeah, so you'll probably see another spreadsheet like this that's really extensive for our membership drive, which is going to happen in April. We do it yearly, so that's our big one. We do have other fundraisers that we do throughout the year, but the big one is always in April because it ends in May, which is InkBlot's anniversary. So yeah. So anyway, so this is our spreadsheet, and I don't want to scare you off, so I will go back to InkBlot. And there goes that ad. Yep. So yeah. So anyway, so this is basically what we're here for. We talk about the really nitty gritty. We talk about the bad stuff, the good stuff, and we go from there. So we already went over team size versus user base. We went over the finances. We went over development, the speed of which that's been going. I don't think I gave you a number, but we went from about 45 to about 20 a month, and that is not always what we do. Sometimes it fluctuates, 10 to 20. Um, so we are definitely our speed of development has been cut in half, literally. Um, so we are definitely trying to make sure that those funds go to keeping the website alive. If you think that we're only a website, we also have apps. We have a mobile app. We have the iOS. We have the Android. All of the funds go towards fixing those two. So our dev does an amazing job at keeping track of all of those platforms, keeping them up to date. So just because he's doing less hours doesn't mean that we're not monitoring systems and everything. I'm still looking at everything. He's still looking at everything. He just is not allowed to actually work. And it to actually, until I'm like, hey, we have these funds, we have this amount of hours for this month, go ahead and update, go ahead and patch, go ahead and do everything that you can, with this amount of hours, and he does it. So we're still keeping it up to date. We're still, security wise and all that other stuff. It's just we're not moving those updates as quickly as we used to when we were doing like two, three, four a month. We were sometimes even doing them weekly or two times a week. It was a little insane. We were burning out actually. But yeah, no, we're still monitoring. We're just, not as quickly updating as we used to be. Hopefully we can get back to that at some time, but right now we have to break even in order to do that. We have to break even. Um, so that is the finances. That is the hours of development. Um, that is you know, the truth. As always, I'm honest with you guys. So that's where we're at right now. It is honestly we're still doing okay. Like from my perspective, even though yes, we're $600 in the hole, right? Um, it's we could be so much worse. Like that's just my thing. You know what I mean? Like it's like I am just truly just grateful for the community that is supporting us and continuing forward, and that is why I've pushed and went ahead. I'm still putting in my own funds to be able to go ahead and move forward with Instar. So Instar is been since the Kickstarter has been this idea of commission based tip jar shop um, alternative that creators can have. They're able to offer their commissions. They're able to offer subscriptions on a monthly basis, or yearly, or weekly, even. They're able to offer shop items if they want to run a shop. It's literally the alternative to Ko-fi and Patreon. And we have finally launched that with our monthly supporters. So our monthly supporters are getting into those accounts for Instar. Um, we're super excited to be able to finally get this part of our our vision. Excuse me. We're finally excited to get this part of our vision out to the world, because we really want to be able to make a change. We want to help our community. That's the whole reason why InkBlot is here. And so this was supposed to be integrated into InkBlot. So it is existing as a separate domain right now for testing purposes. And why do I say Instar and not InkBlot, right? I could just be like, oh, InkBlot has commission, blah 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 blah, right? Okay, no. I so let's be real. Tax wise, we need to have it be separate. It is a product, it is a service. The things that it does is entirely separate from Inkblot. Inkblot, as a whole, is a social platform, right? We take premium memberships, we do events, we do these and this and that, right? So when it comes to Instar, tax wise, we have to do it separately. It is a product of Inkblot art, and it will be integrated into InkBlot so that it's only one website to go to do these things. But testing wise, we have to keep it separate right now until we know that it's stable, until we fix or we do all the things that we need to do to make a product really nice, and then we will integrate it with InkBlot, because InkBlot is the most complex, uh, most stable environment at this point, rather than Instar. Instar is brand new. Instar is like, just getting its wings. It's bare minimum. It looks, kind of like it's just starting out. It looked like when Inkblot started out, really. When Inkblot was baby. Now Inkblot's 3, almost 4 years old. It has all of these systems. It has all of these things, and it's like, well, dang, I can't combine these two. And then what if Instar is like, what if it brings the website down because we do a new update for an Instar system, right? So that is why we're doing them separate. It is in closed beta. We want to invite those that, even though they don't support monthly, we will invite those that that can just join a waitlist and get in. It is you can go to, and I see the question, the FAQ. You can go to waitlist.inkblot.art. It's waitlist. So WAITLIST. Yep, like that. Yes. That's where you can find all the information. We do a breakdown of like the fees. So yes, there is a fee. We're trying to be the most competitive in the market, but also because we are doing this not because we want to buy a yacht, but because we just want to be able to get paid to do what we do. And that is it. We want to get paid to do what we do, and on top of that, to run the servers. So we are asking for 4% from commissions, and subscriptions, um, and in shop items. If you want to not pay that, you can zero it out with a pro membership. That will be a separate tier. Right now, everyone's going to get charged at 4% at this moment. Um, because we're not at a state where we can just do 0%. Let's be honest. Let's be real. We're not at a state where we can just do 0%. If, for example, itch.io, they started out with about, I think it was 5%. I can't remember off the top of my head, but itch.io, they started out charging all of their users about this percentage fee. And then once they became stable, once they became big enough, they were like, okay, everybody 0%. And then they were like, "Hey, but if you still want to give, still want to contribute to itch.io, you can. You can still add that 4%, and you can still donate it towards us. So we will do 4% for everyone. But once we get to a certain point, pro members can have that be 0. Now that's very consistent with Ko-fi. Ko-fi does this. I think VGen does this. I think other platforms do this as well. If you pay them monthly, they zero out a fee. Um, what will our zero out tier be, right? Because we have the regular InkBlot tier, InkBlot Pro membership tier, which is $3 a month. Clearly, that's not going to be worth us zeroing out. Let's be honest, okay? Um, so we are going to do. I'm looking. Still have to do my research. Still have to do everything. When it comes to logistics and when it comes to finances, but I'm looking at about a margin of about $6 to $8 a month to zero it out. I don't think that this is like asking for a lot, to be quite honest. The fees would probably be, if you, depending on how much you're making, the fees would be more than the $6 and $8 a month. So that's it's a win-win for everybody, really. But that's not right now. That's in the future. Is when you can zero it out. It'll be a separate tier. It'll just be a higher tier. So if you look at the FAQ, you'll see it's like InkBlot Pro Plus, right? And we're working that out. We're working it out. So while we're in closed beta, we're offering everybody a chance to test it out with us, and we're doing that. But it's definitely a service that anyone can use. Our biggest thing is that a lot of folks from all around the world are able to use it because it's not PayPal based or just Stripe based. We're offering different payment processors. We're offering different ways to be able to make the money and bring it in and also give it to you. And we're going from there. It is NSFW friendly as well. The content guidelines have not changed. Inkblot content guidelines are the same as Instar. The only difference is that I'm probably going to have it say Instar content guidelines. It's the same, literally. It's the same. You need an Inkblot account in order to have an Instar account. Because at a later date they will be connected, you got to give us something. I mean, the account's already free on Inkblot, so I don't know what to say. This is just the bare minimum requirement is that you got to have an Inkblot account. So anyway, back to why I bring up Instar. Instar is the 4% that is going to help us towards being sustainable and funded, right? That 4% helps us be able to pay for our services, to be able to continue development on Inkblot and Instar. This this is what we essentially don't want to just solely exist off of the subscription memberships, right? We want to be able to be like, hey, when you get paid, we get paid. It works out. Everyone wins. That's it. We're not asking for a yacht. It's 4%, and then a later date it'll be 0% if you give us $6 to $8 that we're looking at right now. Okay. Um, I don't know how else to be about this other than that. We just want to get paid for what we do. That's it. I don't get paid, and I haven't got paid, and I don't expect to get paid until we're fully funded and this is off the ground and ready to go. And my team is getting paid, and volunteers included. We'd love to see that. So that is actually one of the projections is that the volunteers get paid as well. But yeah, um, I just want to see this off the ground. That's it. Been doing this so long, I don't even. I dream about it. I'm at that point where I'm like dreaming about it. Um, but yeah, it would just be really nice. Um, but hey, this is what we're at. This is what we're doing. Instead of just relying on donations, went ahead, launched Instar, trying to help ourselves. Trying to help ourselves. So if we can have those that are like taking a chance on us using Instar, helping us make it better, helping us make it so that it's a true alternative to that of Patreon, Ko-Fi, or VGen, or whoever else is out there, you know. And it's not about, oh, I want to be better than Patreon, or oh, I want to do this. It's like, no, let's just offer our own thing. That's it. Let's just do it our way. If Patreon works for you, great. 100% I am happy. If Ko-Fi works for you, I'm happy. If Instar works for you, of course I'm happy. I just want there to be alternatives. I don't want someone to have a monopoly on the market, right? I don't want somebody to be, the only place. And that's the same with Inkblot. I don't want InkBlot to be the only place that people can go to for, a place that doesn't allow AI gen, or a place that, values its creators. I want there to be more alternatives. I want there to be other options for our community. Um, so yeah, that's my mindset for me, is that I'm building it my own way, but do I still want to see the other options exist? I do. I do. Yeah, I shout out Artfoil, I shout out Pillow Fort, I shout out all the other alternatives to Inkblot. I've never been like, oh yeah, they're a competitor. No, we shouldn't. No, I want you to have other options. I want the entire community to have them, but they just seem to be dwindling faster than we can actually make them. So, all right. So that was about Instar. That helps with our finances. We're going to continue doing that. This is really like within the last week. I've just launched it and opened it up to our supporters. I will have that walkthrough video that I gave our supporters that will go live on our YouTube. I think it's either Tuesday or Wednesday. No, it's Thursday. It's Thursday. Should go. Wait, no, it should go live. Check the calendar. Okay, I'm gonna live it on the 20th. Um, and so you'll be able to see, before you sign up or do anything, you'll be able to see what Instar offers, what it has already ready, and it walks through almost everything. I think the thing that I forgot was the shop option, but it was, oh my god, it was like 8, 9 o'clock at night. So I'm sorry about that. I'll have to do another walkthrough video just to make sure it's like fully encompassing of everything that it offers. But yes, it's a walkthrough video. I show you the UI, I show you the back end, I show you what it looks like on a creator account and things like that, and we go from there. So that way you're able to make your decision if you want to join this early on or not. That's up to you. So yeah, so that walkthrough video will go live on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. The 20th, next week. I'm trying to give our supporters as much time as they can, to make their decision to see if they'll join. And then after that, that 20th will also be when we send out invites to our waitlist. So that link at waitlist.inkblot.art, that is our waitlist. If you scroll to the bottom, you'll see like an access for an email. It's from us. I'm just going to send out an email like, hey, here's the creator application. If you want to jump on board, you're more than welcome to. You'll go through the creator application, and we'll let you know. It's first come first serve with an asterisk, right? Because it's just like, well, you gotta have an Inkblot account, and it has to be in good standing within the last 6 months, right? Um, Now application, right? Everybody hates that word, and I've called it creator page sign up. Um, and I don't think people actually think about that these other platforms do it. I know Ko-Fi doesn't, but Patreon, VGen, they all do it. Ko-Fi calls it your page is under review. That's it. They make you go through all the steps, and they're like, okay, add this, tell us what you're gonna do. See, put your bio in, and they're like, okay, your page is under review before it goes live, and that's it. They don't say application. They don't say, like, hey, we're considering you. They just say it's under review, and then they'll be like, okay, your page is live. So yeah. So same thing. It's the same thing. And they all do it. VGen has done it. VGen is like, hey, we want to know what you do. We want to know why you're going to use VGen. So This is us being transparent because it is an application. That's what it is. The sign up is an application. And so, why is it an application, right? Well, same thing with your company, same thing with a loan, same thing with a bank. We want to know more about you before we go in business with you. If you're going to be using our platform services and using the payment processors that we offer, we're vouching for you. We're putting out, we're helping, fix and offer the subscriptions. We're offering your products. We're going into business with you. So we need to know, like, hey, have you been on Inkblot? Have you even heard about us? Or are you just some rando that's just like, hey, I just wanna sign up and make money and be gone. It's like, okay, have you actually like read our content guidelines? So the minimum is being an Inkblot user for 3 months. You have to have been an Inkblot user for at least 3 months, and you can't have a strike. A strike is not a warning. If you have been in contact or have read our content guidelines, a strike is very hard to get. It's super, super hard to get. And that's saying somebody that has been doing the moderation for a very long time. It's super hard to get if you are not posting the stuff that we don't allow, which is 5 things. We don't allow 5 illegal stuff on the website, right? So as long as you have account in good standing and you've been an Inkblot user for 3 months, more than welcome. You can hop on Instar. Your application will be reviewed, and then we'll go ahead and just approve it. If you know that you ain't got nothing going on, and you've been good, you've been on Inkblot, you don't have any strikes, you're good. I don't need anything else from you, right? So we will have that. So that will be sent out on the 20th with the walkthrough video going live publicly. As long as you're on the wait list, you'll get the email um, with that application link, and then we'll get you, once you're approved, you get onboarded onto Instar, and you can start using it. Nothing else after that. After that, you're good to go. But otherwise, that is that, and that's something you can look forward. Put it on your calendar if you're interested. If you have any more questions, definitely reach out, especially to the support team, or if you want to reach out to moderation team, that's safety@inkblot.art. Support team is support@inkblot.art. Um, so yeah, so anyway, Instar is another way for us to help ourselves, right? We're not depending on donations, not depending on subscriptions, but a new kind of income, a new kind of revenue for us to stay afloat. And its success is definitely, it would help us out. So that 4% goes places. It might not seem great, or it might not seem large to everyone else, but it would help us out. Um, so yeah. So that is everything. I don't want to talk everyone's heads off. I'm hitting my hour mark. But that is what we've been up to. That is what we're doing. We're still chugging along, and I will finally get to this QA that we have been pushing. Um, I'll keep it open while I'm reading them, but if I get to the last one, I'm closing it because can't have a Q&A that lasts forever. Let's see. I need to use my own link. And then let me catch up on the chat while I bring that up. Where's my dark mode? Because this is way too. Okay, there it is. Okay, cool. So let me catch up on chat. Let me see if there's anything that I missed out on. Chat inside of the Twitch studio is so annoyingly small. It's like super duper small. And also, hi and hello to Norse teammate, and thank you for the follow. Nico Yash, thank you for the follow, and Couch Gregor, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Yes, there is definitely a difference between explicit images and or explicit content and artistic nudity. That is 100%. That is like that is like basic. Yeah, everyone should know that. Yeah, you gotta know that. Yes, if we move our beta tools, so we've had polls that go out that talk about if we want to move our beta tools to Discord or to Outverse, which is a form. Shout out to my folks that know what a form is, that know how to use a form. The form days are most likely over, but this was a tool that's brand new. It's called Outverse. The company makes this product. It's a form they can get easily started with. Um, and it's basically just a form. So it would cost us $100 to use it, um, and we would keep all our beta tools there. Well, why are we considering this in the first place, right? Why we've had our feedback board, we've had other places where we host things. Why are we even thinking about moving any of these places? Because there has been over the years, there has been a lot of feedback about where and how we host these tools, right? We have too many places, is what people have said, or there's too many links, and blah 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 blah, or I can't find everything all in one place. And I hear you. I do. I hear you, and I agree. And I agree. Also, the cost of those tools do add up. So again, I am the manager of the fund, so I do try to keep it, as low as possible and inexpensive. But the feedback of it needing to be all in one place has definitely been a large one. So we've been looking at a form, or we've been looking at going to our Discord, which already exists. Our Discord on for the community is very nice, but we would integrate it with the beta tools. So the big one being the feedback board. We would just have a dedicated channel, which we could use a form channel, which sounds like super repetitive, right? Because we would have a form within the Discord that's for the feedback board, and our feedback board is our number one thing. There's a lot of things. If you've been with InkBlot for a long time, you'd know that InkBlot has things, several things, has different processes, has entire UI changes based off of feedback. So we take it very important, and we take it very seriously. I mean, it is important, but we take it seriously. That is the correct way to say that. Um, and so the feedback board is number one, and it has been down and up and down and up for a couple of months now, because we're trying to figure out where to put it, because it's actually super expensive to have a board like that. Like they're always like, the one that we were paying was like $50 a month, and the one that we were paying before that was $40 a month, and it was to have like basic features, and it wasn't even like really all that great, um, because it still had limitations. And I don't want there to be limitations on the feedback, because I want it to be open. I want us to take it seriously. So with that, but yeah, so with that, we are uh, looking at where to put it. Discord would be free. Everyone mostly has a Discord account, especially our community or the creative community. 9 times out of 10, they have a Discord account already. I think the biggest thing is that people don't like large servers. So that's why I think there's some hesitation. But also, the drawback with the forum is that now everybody wants to make a new account to another place, especially one they don't know about. So that is why it is definitely something that we've been debating, and we put a poll out for, which we'll be reading those results in a little bit. Me and Shen, our community manager, who's in the chat, we've been just kind of just trying to see where we should go with this. So, um, of course, this expenses are a big, big, big thing, but we just want to make the best decision, right? Okay, so let's see. Let me see. That is why we were talking about Outverse. That is what Outverse is, and that's why we mentioned the Discord versus the forum. Um, Gosh, dang, I yes, 4% is really low. We're not we're not trying to buy a yacht. I don't know how else to say this, but we're not trying to like make a skyscraper with this company. Like, we just want to do our job. Like, that's it. Like, especially the volunteers, but the folks that are on payroll, everyone has their own job outside of Inkblot. We all do this just because we love doing it. Like, that's really about it. We want to see it prosper. Like I have a job outside of this. I don't do this full time. I've never done this full time. Like, and I don't want to really. I would. It's I don't know. It's like I want to go do other things. Like I want to do this, and then I want to go do other things. It's kind of like, being an artist where you have like hobbies outside of art. Like you got to do something else. Man, this okay, hold on. I have to open up I have to open up Twitch in a different window because this window for Twitch Studio is booty. It is really bad. I don't like it. It's like super tiny. I don't know how to change it. So I'm going to open this up in a different channel. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Okay. Any thoughts about reaching out to Percy Burb? Co-opting with multi-posting software would extend the user base. Yes, it would, and we have reached out. We were redoing our API, so we've already reached out. The creator of Posty Burb already knows about us. We are actually one of his top requested, from what I remember at the time when we talked to him. Top requested to be added. We just need to give him an API. That's really it. We were redoing ours in the background, and we wanted to give him a dedicated one in particular, since Firebase allows us to do that. This has been in a discussion for a hot minute. Okay. Inkblot yacht bottle breaking ceremony win. Right. Yeah, we're gonna be opening up a bottle of apple juice or cider wine or apple cider. Okay, so question time, right? Yeah, because I am running out of time. Okay, hey Jay and team, I haven't been able to keep up with the most recent server activity, but I'm sorry to hear about things. Been rough financially. I hope it's at least somewhat improved. Do you have an updated launch estimate for Instar? Any number goals we can work towards, keep track with? I know it's been difficult, but it's the biggest motivator for me to justify my membership. Instar is already going. As I mentioned, we're going public in next. We're allowing public access to our waitlist. Um, next week. Um, we're obviously we're capping it at 250 users right now. We'll wait a couple of weeks, then we'll open up to 500. We'll wait a couple of weeks, open up to 750. Wait a couple of weeks, open up to 1,000, and then we'll wait a little longer than that because we got to see if we can handle 1,000. I remember when I was handling 250 users on Inkblot by myself. That was a lot. That was a lot. So, yeah. But yeah, that is an update on the Instar launch. Um, Number goals. Right now, we're just trying to cover our deficit. So 648. I'll break that down into the number of memberships that we would need to help better kind of visualize what is the smaller goals. Um, and we can talk about those goals, but definitely that will be in a newsletter along with the the spreadsheet. But thank you so much for considering us, even to give us a subscription or support us in any way. Thank you, Liger. I don't know. I know these are anonymous names, so. And then we have DD. Is there any estimate on the writing feature launching? I'm happy to see the work put into visual and some audio art, but I could see the work put into visual and audio. But I can't wait to post my fanfics on the platform. Um, you know, I can't say that that has been our priority because we've decreased hours so much. So most of those hours go into just keeping things stable and secure. Um, but honestly, it really is about time that just we fully launch that writing feature. And I should really just make a mock-up of it and go from there. I'll have to look at. We have a backlog of all of the feedback that we've gotten about the writing features. Um, it would just make sense to just collage it all or group it all up and just see what we can do. It had something to do with chapters and it has something to do with writing longer pieces, um, which I think is very interesting because our comic section does something similar to that. So if we just I'm doing like that, that one GIF with the Spanish lady that's looking at the numbers and things like that. That's what I'm doing right now because I'm realizing that we literally already have a system like that and we could just post it for writing. Wow. Okay. Well then, I think you have your answer and I have mine because we could just literally copy paste our current code and then go ahead and just rework it for writing. Yeah. I mean, I could see that. Let me write this down before I lose my train of thought. Because this is actually, because we already do it with comics. Comics into to books, which is into chapters. Yeah, we already have journals, and so we could just convert the journals, just link them as chapters, as long as they're inside of a grouping. Okay. All right. Thank you, DD, because I definitely didn't realize what we already had, which makes this job a lot easier. I think we just had to figure out the UI of it all. So that mockup is still very important, but when it comes to coding, that's we pretty much already did it. Um, Instar seems to accept many payment methods. It is usable as a method of accepting many smaller payments, kind of like how people use PayPal, Cash App to send a little money between friends. So it has a wallet, um, and I wouldn't say that that it would be used like Venmo or Cash App. No, that's not what we're here. That's not what we're making it for. No, it's very similar to that of putting the money in there and then you have to withdraw it after a certain amount of days. It has to reach a threshold. It's a wallet for sure, like the usual wallets for like marketplaces. If you've ever used Upwork or if you've ever used Patreon, even that wallet. So I would not say it's for micro payments like that. Notice that loading seems to be slightly better recently. Is this my imagination or has things changed on the back end recently? Yes, things have changed on the back end recently. We've put a lot of the feed, and that was pretty much the last couple months, even with limited hours, we have pushed it into back end development and infrastructure. We've been working on infrastructure for like the last year, to be quite honest. Let's be frank. Um, but it we finally finished like one of the major parts of it with the feeds and the loading times. Um, and that we did do that. Yes, that was last month's update. I didn't put it in the change log. It's not really noticeable to you guys, but I'm glad that you've noticed it in performance way because that's what the whole point was. And is there plans to work on that in the near future? I try and get people to join the space, and the biggest issue everyone tells me is I would join instantly if I didn't take forever for things to load new content. And that's been the major issue, even trying to get friends to take part in the community. I mean, my thing is that it could be an account specific issue. So if folks don't tell us, we would never know. I mean, there's different things. There's so many different computers. There's so many different softwares. There's so many different um, versions. There's so many. Like if they're talking about iOS versus Android, then if they're talking about a computer, there's so many different browsers. Like if we don't know, it's not gonna get fixed. Like like you can tell me that, and I'm my first question would be like, what are they using? Like what was the problem? What's not loading? And like what are they using? What computer? Is it iOS? Is it Mac? Is it what browser? Is it Chrome? Is it Firefox? Is it Opera? Is it I can go on and on and on. I'm like, did they refresh their cache? What internet are they using? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So if we don't know, if you don't tell support, we literally cannot figure it out for you and we can't fix it because we have no idea what we're looking for. Now, of course, there's things like that we are working on to improve, but um, if it's an account specific issue and it has something to do with their account only and it doesn't affect other users, I can't help them with that because I didn't know about the issue in the first place. And if it's account specific, then I definitely can't say that it's like a generalized thing. And account specific issues do happen. They do a lot. Like there's things that are like, even with softwares outside of InkBlot, there's some things that happen and it's account specific. And I even with our support system, like we had something happen with our support software that we use, Crisp, and it was like, yeah, this is just you. This is just you. That's what they literally told me. I was like, okay, this is just my account. Like, it's not an outage anywhere. Like, no, that's just your account. We fixed it though. So that's how it works. So I can't really say like, like, is there plans to work on that? Because like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Like there's a specific bug that prevents, and most users don't have it. I mean, there's literally, I think what I think it's anywhere between 15 to 25 users that are affected by this bug, and it's account specific, and they literally can't refresh their feed. If that was an outage, like a entire like user wide issue, we would have to fix that right away because it would be considered an outage. But now we have these 25 people. It's very specifically to just them that this issue is happening and nowhere else. So that is what I mean by account specific. Is the backend of the website open source? I don't code, so I'm not entirely certain how this works. However, I do know computer communities where people volunteer for optimizing code on open source projects. It's likely that this may be possible for InkBlot. People have come up with this question and answer before, and I think it's very interesting. I do like open source communities. I know my mentor was very into open source communities and open source coding, and he loved it super well. Um, and um but yeah, I see Ant Styles in here. Hey bud. All good, yeah. Um but yeah, I've seen that, but I've never really thought about it, only because of uh we just wouldn't have the team size to help with securities and all this other stuff. There's just way more that goes into it than it is just like, oh yeah, here's the open code. Here's the open source code and help us fix it. There's way more that goes into that. It's like when we had at one point we tested it earlier on in closed beta. We tested kind of like how when you change the HTML for Tumblr, um, and you can like not Tumblr for DeviantArt, and you can change how your profile looks, and you can add all this as long as you know like CSS and HTML basics. Then you can add all this stuff and pretty up your profile. We tested that; it was really great. But security wise, it sucked because we didn't have the hands and eyes to do penetration testing, right? Constant testing to make sure that there's no like insecurities or risks in the system that people would use that HTML CSS editor for, right? Like somebody would be able to like code something malicious, so that requires constant testing. Tumblr has an entire team for that, and the entire software for that, and then so does DeviantArt. They've patched all these things, done all of these things for years now. So my thing with open source coding could be that it would be a little shoddy, and that's my thing. Um, would it help with development, make it quicker? I don't really know. I really wouldn't know that. It would like how many hands would we need for it to go quicker? You know. Um, Zachariah, thanks, bud. Love love that question. Would you fix more bugs on your website? All right, so back to the Q&A. So most people are complaining about web browser, Chrome, Opera, in their own profile, and okay, well, definitely have them contact support, um, and we'll figure out what's going on. I cannot bug test in the middle of a town hall, but I do ask that you please have them, and you can't do it for them. It has to be their account for security purposes. Is the search in the process of being fixed? It's been down for a while. It sucks not being able to look up artists within my own interest. Yeah, it's in the process of being fixed, not only because we have to separate a certain thing from our dashboard, but Algolia also, I think I've mentioned this before, but Algolia also charges stuff. So every time you search, it's like 0.0001 cent. So not only does it have to do with coding, it also has to do with billing. Yeah, it has to do with billing. So, um, sitting up here talking to you guys about like a $600 deficit, and then, you know, yes, the search is down not only because of coding reasons, but also because of billing. That's what happens. Yeah. I mean, of course we could possibly do other options, but Algolia has been working for us for years. It's been the best option. It works best with Firebase. We could use another one, but I don't really know too much about BigQuery. Um, but I also just liked Algolia for the most part because of um, you know, how nice it is. It's very up to date. It has a constant, you know, uh, team on it. Um, but that to answer your question, Armadillo, coding and billing. That is the answer. Would you ever partner with PayPal? No. Sorry. No. 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 A partner when it comes to compensating the subscription service? What is Wolverine, you're gonna have to ask that question again because I would never partner with PayPal, first of all. Um, but I don't know if you mean truly partner. Like what please ask that in a different way. Like what do you mean? How would you want us to use PayPal with the subscription service? Are you talking about like just offering the subscription service to be like purchased through PayPal? That's totally different. Like that's integration and OAuth stuff. Like okay, sorry about that. I have to jump off. Okay, Wolverine subscription. Oh yeah, I mean I'm fine with that, but I would rather it be done through the Ko-Fi, if that makes sense. Right now with PayPal. I haven't thought about it in a very long time. But there's just certain things that PayPal and NSFW does not work well together. And that's why we did not do that as our first option when we started the subscription service. PayPal and being an option on the website and being so close and touching any type of like NSFW or being near it is very bad news and could shut our PayPal account down. So you can go through our Ko-Fi if you want to support us through PayPal and still have a pro membership option. But that would be where we're at right now with that. I would have to revisit that option. But I have to go. I know it's abruptly, but I have to go. Uh, and I will, if you guys have any other questions, please just contact support. If you have any, yeah, any questions, whether that's about helping out with development, whether that's about in general, just reach out to support. I'm on there. I still do support tickets. I still do a lot of things like reports for moderation, a lot of other things, but I'm I'm accessible through any of the emails that we've mentioned here in the chat. But I will definitely reach out to you guys when I can and back online. You guys have a great weekend. I'm sorry I had to end the stream so abruptly. And definitely thank you so much for your time and attention. And I hope to see you guys around in the community Discord or just, on Inkblot in general. You guys have a great night.